Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with another battle from the SPL Tie Breakers. This time we have BKC versus Updated Kanto and ORAS OU. Now, Updated Kanto is part of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack, while BKC is on Team Raiders. Now, currently the Wolfpack is up 1-0 in the tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker is best of 3. So with Solwin's win yesterday, if BKC loses this or Updated Kanto wins, obviously, that's the alternative, or that's the same thing, then the Wi-Fi Wolfpack have won the Smogon Premier League. Now, let's talk about it a little bit. Kevin, you guys already know he's my favorite player. And I told you guys about Alakazam and Kevin. I feel like he always whips out the Alakazam whenever he has to pick up a victory. I feel like he always does. Like, he did it in Black and White. He's doing it now in ORAS. And, yeah, so we do see Updated Kanto with the Jellicent. That's Jellicent plus Metagross. Jellicent pretty much walling all variations of Keldeo, unless it's like Specs HP Grass / Electric with like Rocks and Sand Up, which he does have. Amoonguss putting in a lot of work versus Updated Kanto as well, though obviously Ferrothorn can't be put to sleep, and Metagross can throw in with Zen Headbutt, but Skarmory walls that and gets some spikes. No hazard control on either side outside of potentially Defog on Skarmory. Again, this is ORAS, so Lando does not have Defog, so Skarmory could have Defog. But Spikes plus Alakazam is really threatening for Updated Kanto, especially if it actually managed to hit its attack. So let's see how the game actually ends up going. So we see a Skarmory lead versus Metagross. So great lead on BKC's part. The only thing that Metagross can do to actually threaten it is, of course, Thunder Punch, and Skarmory could potentially spike. So we are going to see Skarmory just go right for the spikes right here, as Ferrothorn is going to come out. BKC could have Taunt, but he does not end up having it, so he ends up getting all 3 layers of spike up already in the beginning of the game, and it looks like Ferrothorn is actually going to do the exact same thing. So Clefable comes out. Clefable could definitely just be the rocker, and we see almost every single layer of hazard and a Thunder Wave come out. Now let me tell you guys something about Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is broken, especially in this generation. Thunder Wave is just straight up broken when you have Pokemon like Combine and Clefable that can just beat opposing teams with Thunder Wave. But yeah, we're gonna see 2 Thunder Waves come out right here, as Skarmory is gonna come out. Now Skarmory could potentially taunt, but I doubt it had it because it didn't go for it versus Ferrothorn. Actually, turns out this Skarmory does have the Iron Head, and we do see a Flamethrower from Updated Kanto's Clefable. So this is a really interesting Clef, because we saw Thunder Wave and Flamethrower already. There's no way it's Thunder Wave, Flamethrower, Combine, and then Softball, right? And we know it is already Magikarp Clefable. So this Clefable is actually just full-on support with just Thunder Wave, 2 attacks as a status absorber and soft boiled. So those are Iron Head, as Flamethrower doesn't do too much to Skarmory. Skarmory can roost that off. Of course, Clefable can go for Thunder Wave right there, but it does get fully paralyzed. On more than likely a turn, it did try to go for Thunder Wave. So we see Ferrothorn come out on the Clefable switch. This could threaten him with the Fire move if he does end up having it, but BKC does reveal the Flamethrower right there. So this Clefable as well is also really interesting, because we saw Rocks, Thunder Wave, Flamethrower, and Soft. Unless we didn't see Softball, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we saw Moonblast on it. We haven't seen Moonblast just yet. So that Clefable could be no recovery, because I swear we just saw Rocks on it. We obviously saw Thunder Wave come off on this one, and we saw Flamethrower. So either Moonblast or there's no recovery. But Amoonguss comes in right now. And again, this is a long game, so Amoonguss right now obviously cannot put Clefable to sleep, but Updated Kanto is also in a situation where, okay, if he tries to switch out to Metagross, there's always that risk of Amoonguss going for Spore. We do see Clefable throw off a Thunder Wave right there. And we're just going to see a little bit of back and forth right here with Clear Smogs versus Giga Drains versus Full Paras. And we'll just fast forward a little bit through that. And Clef does reveal the Moonblast. So we know that this Clefable is obviously not Combine. And what BKC's game plan was right there is just to stall it out of a few Moonblasts, a few Flamethrowers, and just be able to go out to Clef if it wants to on this own Clefable. So goes back out into his Amoonguss just because of Regenerator. He doesn't really take too much anyway, and if he wants to throw off a Moonblast, again, he's just PP stalling it a little bit. Like, I am sure at this point Kevin's game plan is, yeah, my Alakazam can put in a ton of work, especially with hazard damage, and Clefable only needs to be at about 60% or so for Alakazam Psychic to knock it out at neutral. That's without even going for Combine. So we're going to see a few Clear Smogs, as we do see a few full Paras right here. And yeah, he's able to bring out Clef right there, and Clef does reveal the Softboiled. So this Clefable does not have the Moonblast. It's Thunder Wave, Stealth Rock, Softboiled, and Flamethrower. So Tyranitar comes in, up to cannon. That's a really solid play on the Clefable, just because Clefable cannot touch T-Tar anyway. But BKC does make a really nice play and throws off a Thunder Wave on the T-Tar. I'm going to say Thunder Wave a lot in this, guys. On the T-Tar coming in. If this is Choice Band T-Tar, it can do a lot with Stone Edge, but it does get full parry on the Skarmory switching, and Skarmory is able to go for the Iron Head right there, and then get a flinch with Iron Head. So this Tyranitar is gone, and that is one less Mon that BKC actually has to hit Focus Blast versus. The other one is only this Ferrothorn, which is already weakened enough as it is. So Ferrothorn comes out. Now, Ferrothorn could Leech Seed while BKC could just Roost. And I think, honestly, even though he knows it's going to go for Leech Seed, BKC's play is really smart because he wants to be able to come in on Metagross and then phase it out repeatedly if he has it. Ferrothorn actually does end up missing the Leech Seed, which is pretty big because it could have been at a good amount of HP afterwards. But Kevin doesn't want to go out into his own Clefable right there, just opts to phase him out with the Whirlwind. I agree with that play too, because if you get in Tyranitar, it is a sack, and he can always just click Whirlwind. So Updated Kanto makes a smart play, which is going out into Clefable right there. Magic Guard obviously allowing him to avoid those hazards. As Justin is going to come out, this does threaten the Amoonguss with the Will-O-Wisp, or excuse me, the Skarmory with the Will-O-Wisp. If this is what's it called? If this is Taunt Jellicent, it could be a little bit annoying, I suppose. But Giga Drain's still doing around 40% anyway, and with spikes and hazards up, if this Keldeo is like not that Calm Mind protecting that BKC ran before, but like more so, I want to say a Specs HP Lecture Set. Like I said, Specs Keldeo at the same time is also looking really threatening. So Amoonguss comes in right now on the Will-O-Wisp and decides to throw off, and decides to actually double out to Clefable, more than likely expecting him to want to go out into either. Honestly, I think Clefable was like the only thing that BKC expected him to go out to, because if this Specs Keldeo, it can actually threaten him with a Specs Hydro Pump. That'll do a ton. Yes, he might actually end up losing his Clefable, Keldeo to the Moonblast, but at the same time, Clefable is like the only thing really stopping him from losing to Psychic like Shadow Ball Alakazam, unless it's like Scarf Lando, which it very well could be. But BKC doubles out into Amoonguss, really nice play, expecting Jellicent to want to come in, and this gives him potential Spore if he wants to go for it, or even a Giga Drain, as he actually does out to throw up the Spore. And Updated Kanto actually has the Protect tech. Now, this is pretty cool too, because Kevin loves his Tyranitars, right? Kevin loves sand, so that's actually really nice, because if he's ever in a situation where it's Tyranitar versus Jellicent, he can go for Protect as opposed to trying to win a 50-50 with Crunch versus Pursuit, and either try and recover it off if he goes for Pursue and then burn him, or obviously switch out if he goes for Crunch. But at the same time, because he does have that Protect, we're going to assume that this Jellicent set is Scald, Will-O-Wisp, Recover, and Protect, which means it doesn't have Taunt, and Taunt could have been a difference in this game for sure. But Amoonguss is just going to throw off another Spore, goes for Clear Smog, a couple Clear Smogs right here, as he is going to go out to Clefable. And again, they're just trying to stall each other out a bit. I think Kevin's more so on the... I think Kevin has a better chance at stalling him out just because he does have the Regenerator, and the fact that his Clefable has more PP as well and just naturally gets to come in. So, and full pairs are actually helping out as well. So Jellicent comes out this turn as BKC does throw off a Flamethrower. Now this is an interesting turn because Kevin does, of course, have his Tyranitar. So even if Jellicent ends up going for Pursuit, if it is Scarf Tyranitar, Crunch knocks him out. So Jellicent has to recover right here. So this gives him the opportunity to potentially get on Tyranitar if he wants to, because Jellicent literally has to recover. Even if it goes for a Will-O-Wisp predicting T-Tar, which is more than likely Scarf on Kevin's side, he dies to hazards anyway, and Sand is there. So he has to get like Triple Protect to stall out Sand and, you know, burn him and try and wear him down. But yeah, so Tyranitar does come out. More than likely Scarftar, could be Bantar, I guess, as well, Speedy Bantar. But we do see a Crunch come out, so that's going to force Updated Kanto out. But at the same time, look how weakened his Jellicent is. So it forces him out into Clefable, as it does come in and takes the Scarf Crunch. That's definitely Scarf, because that only did 15. Ban would have done about 30, I want to say. So Clefable was able to come in on the incoming Clefable as well. And he doubles out into Jellicent, which is a smart play because of the Flamethrower. It can obviously take the Thunder Wave as well. This does allow Kevin to actually potentially throw off a Thunder Wave on Jellicent right here. And Thunder Wave and Jellicent means that it actually can't do any damage, or like it can't outspeed anything on his team, not that it would anyway, but it also means that those Protect turns that it goes for versus Tyranitar, it has a chance to fail them, obviously. So we get a full pair on that, and he ends up going right back on the Clef, and he's just going to be doing this pivot into Amoonguss because Clefable does not do too much, and at the same time, he is just wasting those soft boils on Clefable. I kind of wish that they updated the replay to actually show you how many it had, like right here, like when you go over them, but yeah, a few soft boils coming out we are going to see another few Giga Drains as well, as Metagross is finally going to come out right here as Kevin ends up going out to Clefable. So really nice play on Updated Kanto part. He knew that Amoonguss would more than likely switch out due to the fact that it wanted its Regenerator, and Clefable could potentially KO it with a crit. And yeah, that was a smart play. So it gets him Metagross right now, allows him to Mega Evolve right now, but he gets all them hazard damage up on him. So if he does have Thunder Punch, Skarmory will go down. And at the same time, that Rocky Helmet damage, it's so crucial, because if this is, first off, Kevin makes a great scout for the Thunder Punch and going Keldeo. I say that's a great scout because Skarmory alive means that Scarf Landers can never do crap, right? It also means that Clefable has a chance to be Iron Head flinch to death. And with that Rocky Helmet damage, it also means that Tyranitar, which is Scarf, knocks him out with Crunch. And because it's Thunder Punch plus Meteor Mash, I doubt that this is a Bullet Punch Metagross. So Kevin does get the play right there. Basically, it was in his, Crunch was in his favor anyway, I think, just because at the hazard range Metagross was at, it can only come in one more time, and Alakazam would knock it out anyway. So Crunch was his best play. Gets rid of the Metagross as the Clefable is going to come back out. This does allow him to go right back out into his own Clefable, and at this point, it's looking really good for Kevin. Like, Flamethrower knocks out Ferrothorn, which is already weakened. He can just spam and waste a few more PP right here. Some Thunder Waves. What is this, RBY? Nice comment. So, Jellicent ends up coming in on the Thunder Wave as he is going to go right out to Amoonguss, as he does get fully paralyzed. Really sucks because he doesn't get a recover, but Amoonguss ends up getting full para as well. Same thing with Clef. Nice, same thing with Amoonguss. Just keep copying each other, boys. I like this. Same thing with Clef. Okay, we're trying to see another Amoonguss? Nope? Okay. But Clear Spot has so much PP that it really doesn't matter if Kevin continuously goes for it. And he probably has HP Fire as his last move anyway. And HP Fire means that if Ferrothorn comes in, it will go down as well. And Tyranitar already dies to Hazard. We already know that much. So those are for Clear Smog as he does get crit. And we do see a repeat crit right there by BKC. So he's going to go out to Clef again on the soft build. I don't know how many soft builds has gone by at this point. But again, he's just spamming Thunder Waves and trying to weaken the Jellicent. Or at least try to force in Jellicent as Amoonguss is going to come out. Because Amoonguss just recovers for free versus Jellicent, considering Jellicent's only offensive presence is Scald. It's not running Hex or anything. So Scald is his best chance, and Amoonguss just gets to recover off. And basically gets to the point of Regenerator bringing him back up to full in about this range anyway after Hazard. So I understand that this game might be like, oh man, this is whack. This is the game that they have to play. This is a stall breaker. So they... Tiebreaker, excuse me, stall breaker. This is a tiebreaker, so this is something that they both want to win, obviously. So it's interesting right here because if Clefable does knock out Amoonguss right there with like a crit Flamethrower, then Alakazam just comes in and wins the game, right? Because Landers goes down to Psychic, though it is a Scarf Landers, but he still has the Rocky Helmet Skarmory at the same time, which can just phase Ferrothorn literally once, and Ferrothorn will die, Tyranitar will die. So he's pretty much forced to go for Soft Blood, as Kevin does read that and goes for Clear Smog. And we are going to see Clefable come out one more time. Jellicent comes in and doubles right back out into the T-Tar as Jellicent goes for Recover. So this is interesting because in this situation, Kevin, while his Tyranitar is only at 14% HP, and if he goes for Crunch and Jellicent switches out, he got the 50-50 wrong. It's also not in Updated Kanto's favor just because of the full para, obviously. So goes for Protect right there, as BKC is going to go for Pursuit. And again, this is still not in Updated Kanto's favor because of the fact that he is full para, and Pursuit is a 3-hit KO. So he does get parried right there. Like I said, this is something that could happen. And we do see another para right there, which is pretty big because what he was trying to do was stall out the Sand turns. That way he can try and recover up. We do see Jellicent get off a recover right now, but with the fact that Jellicent is more than likely get on out of this unless it gets 2 or 3, I think it needs 3 protects in a row in order to live the next Pursuit from Tyranitar. So ends up not getting the 3rd protect, as Pursuit is going to be able to knock him, or not knock him out, but actually gets a lower roll, but puts him in range of the next one. So now he needs like 5 protects in a row to do it. And again, I feel for Updated Kanto. This is a tiebreaker. You want to try and win, because if you win that game, Wolfpack wins. But Kevin ends up out there on top as he's able to get rid of the Jellicent. And this just means, like I said, when Alakazam comes in, it can put in a bit of work. But of course, where there is a yellow color, where there is a Thunder Wave, there is a way, as you guys will see. So, Clefable versus Clefable action. Landers is going to come out this turn, more than likely on the next attack, and Lando actually ends up going for the crit explosion. So that's actually really big too. There were so many crits this game, but that crit explosion is really big because getting rid of Clefable means that no longer can Clefable wall Clefable. Is what I'm trying to say. They can't PP stall it. So he still does have Skarmory's Iron Head, obviously, and he does have Amoonguss, but now he doesn't have a Flamethrower switching. So BKC is pretty much forced into either Alakazam or Skarmory. Skarmory is nice because it can just go for Iron Heads versus Clef and force it to not soft boiled. And basically, if it gets the flinches versus it, Clef is gone. If it gets the flinches or full pairs, like right there, if he got it, Clef would be gone. But Clef does end up breaking through, and it's in Kevin's best interest to just go for Iron Heads repeatedly. Statistically, it's in his best interest, but Skarmory does end up getting full parrot or parrot right there, and he does get full parrot on the soft boiled. So again, I gotta tell you guys, where there's a yellow color, there's a way, and Skarmory gets full parrot again, as Clefable is gonna be able to knock it out with Flamethrower. So now Big Alakazam has to come out, and like I said, Alakazam, even if it's paralyzed, that bull gonna be faster than everything on the team anyway. Tyranitar dies to Hazards, right? We already know that much. Clefable is 2-hit KO by Psychic easily, so Psychic doing 60. As Updated Kanto is going to go for the Thunder Wave, and he decides to actually sack his Tyranitar there. I agree with that play completely, because a paralyzed Clefable can still potentially beat the Amoonguss just with Flamethrowers, assuming he has any left. And if he goes off full pairs, Ferrothorn can win it as well. So throws off another Psychic as Ferrothorn is going to come out. There's no way Kevin's going to go for Focus Blast right here. He actually opts to go for... He might have opted to go for Shadow Ball right there. Actually, he might have opted to go for Focus Blast, considering he was out of range of Gyro Ball just because he's paralyzed. But we do see the power come out. And we are going to see a Shadow Ball come out right now, which would have been able to knock out the Ferrothorn next time. So he definitely went for Shadow Ball that time. But Para is a win con, and Amoonguss can come out and just go for the hidden power. It doesn't matter that Amoonguss can just come out and just go for the hidden power fire and knock out Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn will go down to Hazards anyway, so there's nothing you can do. Its best attack, it seems to be just Power Whip, and obviously you can't Leech Seed it. But look at these full pairs just coming in clutch right now. So it basically comes down to if the paralyzed Clefable can beat the paralyzed Amoonguss, which just got paralyzed 3 times in a row, by the way. So it comes down to if the paralyzed Clefable can beat that paralyzed Amoonguss, if he can even beat Ferrothorn at this point. But he does end up knocking out the Ferrothorn right there, and it really just comes down to this. So the Clefable does get paralyzed. We do see one full para, and if Clefable actually gets full parried one more time, or doesn't get a crit Flamethrower, Amoonguss does win. And we do see the second full para as Amoonguss is able to break through and knock him out with Clear Smog. And this is why I said, guys, where there is a Thunder Wave, there is a way. That battle went back and forth literally because of this yellow color. Literally because of this yellow color. Alakazam could have came in and win, or there were also times where Jellicent could have actually, you know, beaten the Tyranitar. Like on both sides, Thunder Wave definitely played a huge role. But this means that it's now currently 1-1 in the tiebreaker. So the last game is going to be a rematch between ABR and TDK. And I will actually be doing my best to commentate that live and getting to you guys up tomorrow on Saturday. Of course, if you do want to watch it, I think it goes up at 4 p.m. Eastern. Or it's at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 20 minutes from now. But like I said, I want to try and commentate that live if I am able to, and then I'll get that up Saturday at 2 p.m. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. It's now 1-1, Wolfpack versus Raiders. The final game will be decided in about 20 minutes from here, but obviously this one's going up at 6 o'clock, so you guys either already know the outcome or we'll have to wait for tomorrow. So I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.